on YouTube, I get a, Bruce, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing pretty good today, so feel fine. What is this? This part of your collection? Well, anyway, it's a Texas style cutting horse spur. I think Adolph and Billy Klapper made that popular. Anyway, I like the mountings on this. Kind of simple diamond shape. Flower on steel buttons. The copper and the nickel silver look good on that steel. And maker's mark on the inside and button covers on the spur straps. On these spur straps I put stainless steel buckles. Cart buckles on that. Let's see what else we got back here. Made a few bits in my time also. I think I made the first square port for Al Dunning, and then a few more, maybe one for one of his trainers that works for him. Kind of a Darnell shank, but they pushed out square mouthpiece. Probably only built 5 or 6 of those, like that. Here's a hunting knife. I'll set those up there. I think this is king wood. It's a real hard wood. The handmade sheath. It's got wheat stalks and scroll carvings on it. I made that to fit the knife. This steel is ATS 34. It's a super stainless steel. And what I did on that was profile the blade and then hollow grind. It's got a pretty deep hollow grind on it. And this steel will really get sharp and stay sharp. But on these blades, I grind them to my shape and hollow grind them and then send them off to be heat treated. And I sent this to Texas Knife Maker Supply in Houston, Texas, and usually do 2 or 3 at a time and send them off and have them heat treated and get them back in a week or so. So that's a hunting knife and sheath. Let's see what else we got back here. Oh, built this pair of ropers for my grandson Bradley. They're double mounted. Got scroll and a flower with the copper center, and up there we got wheat stalks on each side, wheat stalks on the buttons, and yep, maker marked with the BC initials there. That's a 7/8 inch 8-point rail. On those. Here's a cowboy spur, 1 1/8 band. They really got some weight to them. And let's take a look at these. Got the steer head with the wheat stalk. I do remember these spur rails. Ground that out of a, I torched out a round circle out of a plow disc, which is super hard material, and then softened the steel, and then came back and ground the spokes in it and hand filed them, and then reheat treated them. Copper mountings here, the steer head, and just the mounting on the tip here. These tips are soft soldered on with Harris soft solder, and the rest of the mountings are hard soldered. We're talking 1200 degrees to get this to flow and stick on, where this is like 390 degrees there. Once all the mountings are put on the spurs, I'll spend a little time polishing. Noticed I put some, it's a nice weight for a spur strap, about a 9 or 10 ounce. It's got some scroll design on it and the button cover. And get the flowers. We got the mild steel buttons with nickel and copper seam. Oh, look at these spur straps here. I mean the buttons, the buckles. I made that loop. It's just mild steel. Put my name on there. And just kind of hand domed those and everything. It's a nice weighted cowboy spur. Got the number 4 style. Adolph Byers came up with this design, which is just really hard to beat for a good looking spur. Well, it's just got a lot of mountings on it. And I like my mountings big enough that you can see what they are from a distance. And there's a motif on the inside with the wheat stalks. Just a nice pair of spurs to have in a collection. Oh, here's I believe this bit, it's got a 3/8 mouthpiece in it. This is, I named it the Col Lil Bit. Back in the early 80s, I made quite a few of these and used pitchforks for the shanks. On this one, this is just 3/8 inch round 4130 aircraft alloy. It's got a little bit heavier rings on top and bottom than I have used. These are 1/4 inch, where a lot of the pitchfork bits I put 3/16 rings on. This little bit right here will fit in work on a lot of good light mount horses. Like, it's just a real good cutting horse bit. Here's another pair of cowboy spurs. I believe this has got a 2-inch 20-point rowels in it. That's kind of got the West Texas look, maybe a little bit of what Jerry Cates might have put on a spur shank. That's kind of his shape there, and I added this little extra notch there. The shanks are a 1/2 inch thick. It's got the little diamond there. These could be considered double mounted when you have mountings on the inside of the spur and on the outside. 7/8 inch buttons. It's got that look and feel of a good spur. Let's see, I missed this pair. I think these spurs were featured in Tad Meyer's book, Portraits of the American Craftsman. They're double mounted. Got flowers on the inside buttons and the outside, just slightly different. The buckles, I handmade the buckles, the loops, and it's got some big cowboy spur straps that are basket stamp. So check out the Tad Meyer's book. You might get a kick out of that. Another fella from Gainesville, Texas, Vince Paulus, a guitar maker, was featured in there also, plus a bunch of others. Let's see, we went over everything here, I think. Here's a spoon bit. Billy Klapper makes a 333, and this is a light version of that, maybe. I probably changed up a few things, but he inspired me to make this. So actually, B.F. Phillips in the 80s had a 333, and he wanted me to kind of replicate them, and I made him 5 in the early 80s. And not everybody can get along with one of these. You got to be a pretty good horseman and have the right hands for a bit like this. Oh, this is really a good mouthpiece. This is like you would find in a Kelly bit, a loose jaw bit. This is a real good roping bit. It's easy on the horse's tongue, and change the shanks up a little bit. It's got that 7 shank on it. Long wheat stalks up on this nickel silver here, and the silver spots there. It's a good roping bit. In the early 80s, Matlock Rose brought a pattern to me of a hackamore bit. And through the years, I've made quite a few hackamore bits. This is a slight deviation of my pattern that I use most of the time. This is probably one of the first shanks that I built that was round, and I slightly flattened it. But I always put a unique design on my nose bands. Sometimes it's scroll carving. This happens to be the diamond shapes with the wheat stalks in it. And this is for a jerk line for training your calf roping horse. Kind of fun going through that little collection right there. I see one more thing back here. Made a few spur displays. Actually, this should go around here like this. But split the metal and then twist it. And there's a steel frame in here. And then I covered it with leather. And it's got a real thick gusset in it. I think yep. It's got this, it's got my autograph on the bottom. I used leather conchos, copper rivets for the feet of the piece. Sometimes when I make these, I put the date on there, and I didn't on this one. I think there's a little bit of story on these spurs. I'm not totally sure, but someone, a collector, might have located them on eBay or something, and then they were mounted to begin with, and then the initials of the original owner weren't on there, so I got those and actually put my grandson's initials on there. And I know this is 4130 material here, and I can tell by looking that these spurs were worn daily for a long time. And this is got a handmade rail in it. These spurs just have a unique feel to them. Man, kind of fun going through this collection and spending a little time with you, show you what I've done in the past, and I'm still having fun doing this. Man.